What's up, everyone? My name is Farid, you guys already know that, and I used to live in a haunted house. I spent a whole year living in a haunted house, and it was about as weird as you can imagine. It happened when I was in sixth grade, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, sixth grade. The same year I tried to capture the lady in white, and the same year I tried to buy the souls of my classmates to sell them to the devil. It was a busy year, but I've been living with my parents in the situation that we were living before. It was like it was a house that was split for like three families, and it was a mess. So we were kind of desperate to get out of there. So we went, house hunting, and we had like the shortest of budgets. We were broke, and then we found this house, this really big fucking house. It was like three floors, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful house. I'm gonna be honest with you, and it looked expensive as fuck, but it was super cheap. It was like super within our budget, which remember was like the tiniest of budgets. And I remember being like, why is this house so cheap? And my mom was like, oh, it's nothing, I don't know, it's probably like because it's old and people don't want it. And I was like, did anyone die in here? And then my mom laughed and she was like, oh, come on, murder doesn't bring down housing prices in Brazil. Which is true. We used to live, later we lived in an apartment, and some guy got murdered like on the corner of our building, and the rent went up. So, as it does. But anyways, we moved into the haunted house. We didn't know it was haunted at the time, but we moved up into the incredibly big, super cheap house, and everything was fine at first, and then the weird shit started happening. Like, first we would put things down in one place and they would pop up in another place. And I remember clearly, because you know how grown-ups are in situations like this. So it was total denial from my parents. They were both like, oh, maybe I didn't put it there, I put it here. Yeah, maybe I just don't remember moving it. And I'm like, okay, what, when you were sleeping? Because it would happen overnight. The activity always happened overnight. And then I got a break from school. I went into my winter break, which is like 2 weeks. And 2 weeks break at school, from school. So my sleeping schedule went to shit, as it always did, back when I was like in school physically. Because now I study online, so my sleeping schedule is a mess all year round. But back then it had to be like, go to bed early, wake up early during school days. But then on like the break, I would stay up until like 3 a.m. on the internet and stuff. And I remember that I started hearing noises in the house, like actual noises, like things moving, people calling my name. There was a little girl, it was the voice of a little girl. She would call me, she would giggle, she would move around, she would play marbles. I didn't have any marbles, but I could clearly hear marbles just, like against one another. Yeah, I could hear that. And I was like, okay, this is weird, but I didn't tell anyone because, you don't want to be the person to raise your hand and go, hey, actually, I'm like hearing voices, because, you're going to get thrown into an institution or something if you do that. That's what I thought when I was a kid. So I didn't want to do that, so I didn't tell anyone I was hearing things. And then the stretch marks appeared. Scratch marks, not stretch marks, scratch marks. I was getting all scratched in my back, and here's the thing, I didn't reach my back very well because I broke my arm. So, it didn't heal properly. It does this now, so it didn't heal properly. But it was in places where I couldn't possibly reach on my own. And they were nail marks. They were like, going like, and by the way, they were going like this. So it makes no sense that I would do that because, I can't, like my hands, it would be different. I'd have to reach myself from behind to do this, right? But the nail marks appeared, and I was like, okay, something is wrong as fuck here. So of course, when I saw them, I saw them in the mirror during the shower, because I like to shower with the curtain open so I can look at myself in the mirror and, play with my hair and make faces and stuff, and I was a kid. Anyways, I saw the marks on my back, and I freaked out. I called my mom. Mom came in running, like, "What the fuck's going on? Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm not okay. Check this out." And then I showed her my back. And again, you know how grown-ups are in situations like this. She looks at me. She looks at my back for like nearly a minute, and then she goes, "Why did you scratch yourself like that?" And I'm like, "Mom, I can't reach it. I can't reach it like this, and the marks, they're in the direction. It doesn't make sense. It clearly wasn't me." And she was like, "Oh, so you probably did it on your sleep and you don't remember. That's it." And I was like, "No, Mom, it's a ghost. There's a ghost in the house." And she was like, "Oh, there's no such things as ghosts." Seriously. She was like, "There's no such thing as ghosts." And I was like, "Okay." So shit just moves around on its own, and the scratching and the voices, and then she was like, "What voices?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, right, I didn't tell you. There's a girl who keeps giggling in the middle of the night." And she was like, "Oh, it's probably just the neighbors." And I'm like, "Yeah, a small child is up at 3 a.m. at night giggling." And she was like, "Well, you're up at 3 a.m. in the night, aren't you?" And I mean, touche, I can't argue that. I was a kid and I was up at 3 a.m. in the morning. But, I was like, this is messed up. So of course I started taking precautions. I would carry salt with me everywhere because I looked it up online. I saw that salt was good to, get rid of ghosts. So I started carrying salt with me everywhere. And I was like, looking up exorcisms and stuff like that just to be on the safe side. Because, I mean, I've seen horror movies. I've watched horror movies. I know shit goes down fast, so you gotta be prepared. And nothing too big happened other than that, other than the scratches and the voices and the things being moved around for a while. And then shit started getting, harder. Like the TV turning on by itself consistently, like almost every night. And my mom was like, "Oh, maybe the remote is not working properly, Maybe we need a new remote." And I'm like, "Okay, let's try this then." So I take the remote, I move it from the bedroom to the kitchen, if I'm not mistaken. I put it like in the kitchen, which it was downstairs, and I was upstairs. So I was like, okay, so the remote is far too distant to do anything. Let's see if the TV turns on by itself. And then the TV turned on by itself, and it wouldn't turn off. I kept pressing the button, and it wouldn't turn off. And then the volume started going up, like really going in the middle of the night. It woke up my parents, and then they walk into the room and they see me in front of the TV with my hand on the button, and the volume is going up, and my mom's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm not doing anything, I'm trying to stop it." And she was like, "Stop doing it." And I let go of the button, and the volume continues to go up, and then she sees that it's not me that's doing it, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then she tries to, down the volume, and it still won't go down. And then I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And then I pull the plug, and then the TV goes down, goes off. And it was amazing. The denial is so strong. It's amazing, because she was like, "That is so weird. Maybe the TV is broken." Seriously. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was like straight out of a horror movie. No, not the, oh, it's creamy and shit, but like the fact that she looked at all the signs and she was like, "Oh, that certainly is odd. I'm sure it's nothing bad. I'm sure there's like a reasonable explanation for this." I mean, seriously, And then we moved a little after that, not because of the ghost, although I kept insisting that we need to get the hell out of that house. But I was a kid, so who would listen to me when I kept saying the house is haunted? But for financial reasons, we had to move a few months after that. And like the day of the moving, I'm never gonna forget this. The day of the moving, I saw the ghost. I actually saw the ghost. I hadn't seen her before, like not in whole. I haven't seen her face and body and everything like that. I had her, like I heard her, and I saw little like things like in the corner of my eye, but silhouettes and shit. I hadn't seen like a person before. And then I saw her on the day of the move. I woke up. Everything was already in boxes. I woke up, and she's standing there, like in the door of my bedroom, in my bedroom door. This little girl in like a white dress. It looked almost Victorian, which makes no sense because I can't imagine that was a thing in Brazil. And the house wasn't old enough to be haunted by a Victorian ghost. And again, Victorian clothes weren't like a thing around here, I don't think. You know, and she was just standing there on the door, holding a doll, like one of those rag dolls, and staring, just staring at me like, with this face, just staring at me the whole goddamn time. I don't know how long she was there, but I won't open my eyes. I see her standing there, and it doesn't register with me at first. I'm like, I open again, them again, and she's gone. She's just poof, gone. And I jumped out of bed so fucking fast. I was like, I gotta get out of here. We're moving, we're leaving. And my mom was like, the truck isn't coming for another few hours. And I'm like, I'm waiting outside. And I waited outside. I have never gone back to that house. I would like to go back to that house and like research some more, figure out, you know, who the girl was and whatnot. But it was freaky as fuck. Anyways, that was the story of the time I lived in a haunted house. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment in the comment section down below. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and ring the little bell to get notifications so you can be, you know, notified every time I post a new video. I post every Tuesday and Thursday. And so far I'm posting vlogs and Let's Plays. But I might start posting ASMR again. Sometime. Not again, I never did it before. I might start posting ASMR soon. I don't know yet. Let me know in the comment section below if you think I should post ASMR. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!